It's one that I've developed independent of learning from other sources, but also one that is hinted at in other spiritual paths, other yogic traditions, but also other spiritual paths as far as energy goes. So when you offer to the gods, usually it's one god or one goddess. When you do something as simply as eating, you can make an offering within yourself without doing anything externally beyond closing your eyes and looking at your third eye. So my relationship with Odin is a little bit more of a contract, a little bit more of a standoffish relationship than my relationship with Kali Ma. With Odin, he gets my death. I will die when he sees fit, and he has my death when it is fortuitous for the multiverse. But with the Divine Mother Kali Ma, it's different. She is my mother goddess. So about 90% of the meals that I eat throughout a day, a month, whenever, 90% at least. When I'm eating, I don't do anything externally beyond close my eyes. So no matter what I'm eating, of course I'm vegetarian, so it's not going to be meat, but you could probably do it meat as well. I straighten my spine. I stand when I eat usually, which is really weird for a lot of people, but if you're not standing while you eat, you can sit up straight. And while you're eating, you put your eyes to your third eye. Imagine looking right here with your eyes closed. You can have them open, it's just as valid. And then while you're eating, you focus on that point between your eyes. And I say, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Now, while I'm saying Jai Ma and eating, I do something else as well. And once again, I'm not saying it externally, I'm saying it within my mind, within myself. Saying Jai Ma within has nothing to do with the mouth. If you need to say it externally with your mouth, sure. If you need to say it at the back of your tongue, sure. The best way to do it is within your mind. So, while I'm saying Jai Ma and eating, and you can open your eyes and look at the food and eat, and then close your eyes again, whatever. And sometimes you can even hold the food in your mouth or after you swallow and keep on focusing on your third eye. And there's a few tactics to use when offering to a god or goddess in this method. So, focusing my eyes there, usually recently, I picture this white light, and I feel this white light coming down from exactly this direction as the direction that I'm looking up. And I just see this white light with a red background, not necessarily black, but like a pale red. And I'm looking up and I'm saying Jai Ma while I'm eating. I'm looking up, and then I concentrate my energy at the bottom of my spine, and then I feel it and I move it up my spine. And while I'm saying Jai Ma within myself, and while I'm looking at this light in my third eye, and while I'm eating, I travel the energy from the bottom of my spine all the way up into the Divine Mother Kali Ma while I'm eating. It's complicated. It's a complicated tactic. It's not easy to do at the beginning. It takes a lot of work. But when you move that energy up your spine while you're eating, you're focusing on your third eye. And of course, I'm saying Jai Ma. You could say whatever kind of god or goddess thing that you like to do. You can do with Odin. Hail Odin. Do the same thing. But you have to have a picture of the purest form of that god or goddess, or the images that you assign to them. So when I first started doing this, because when I'm doing this now, I can feel it. I can feel the energy going up. I'm sharing this food. I'm sharing the tastiness. I'm sharing everything. I'm sending it up. But when I first started doing this, it felt more like a medium sending, where it's like it goes out, but not necessarily directly up. So what I was doing is, the mind is precarious. The mind is likes to move around. It likes to go from thing to thing to thing. So I had 4 images of the Divine Mother Kali Ma that I would cycle within my head as I ate while saying Jai Ma in my head. You don't have to do this a whole meal, but even a few bites is a good offering because it's an offering within the best kind of offering. So when I first started doing it, I had an image of the Divine Mother Kali Ma that she had sent to me of herself that was not given to me from any other source. That was one of them. Then I used the one of the images of the Divine Mother Kali Ma that was, in media. Black, kind of two-dimensional face, ring, hair, of course, and kind of like a smile with a little bit of a tongue out. And that was one of the images. Another one of the images was one that she actually sent me as well. It was basically a brief symbol of her hair against blackness and a little bit of her face, and this energy going across her face. That's another image that I used. I cycled to that as well. And then I have the image of her in the astral realm, which is indescribable, but can be seen as light and kind of like hair as tentacles, but like very thin tentacles, just like going through energy. Just like it's like she's in water, but it's just all energy. And I just see her face, and at the center is light, and then it gets a little bit redder towards the outside. And then I picture that. So I can go from one image to one image to one image and to another image. And then while I'm cycling through these images, because the mind wants to cycle through sometimes while you're getting used to this technique, I'm saying Jai Ma while I'm eating and focusing on my third eye and cycling through these images. It doesn't feel like anything at first. And nobody can teach you this, not really. You have to experiment with your energy in your body. You have to be able to feel energy along your spine. You have to be able to feel the saying of Kali Ma in your head or Jai Ma in your head, something like that. It can be any god or goddess. You have to find either a mantra or a prayer or a recitation that you can say with your intellect while focusing on your third eye, while cycling through the images in your mind, your chitta, your mind stuff, and while focusing on your energy. So you're doing multiple things at once. And sometimes it's better to practice each one of these things before you combine them all. And once again, I just started experimenting at some point, and then I found something that worked. This offering yoga, offering to the gods within. Kali Ma is the one that I do it with, but that doesn't mean that it has to be the one that you do it with. Because the real connection to the gods, to the goddesses, to your beings that you see, you look up to, you learn from, you love, you revere, is always going to be within yourself. And it's always going to be connected to the energy along your spine. And sometimes that energy, when I'm moving it up, kind of gets welled up in my heart space. And then it'll go back up. It's an experiment. We always start off with, am I really doing this or am I imagining it? It starts out with visualization, imagining, but eventually it becomes a technique that you send an offer to the gods by your taste, by your consumption, by your fullness, and by your focus. Your focus of all these things being sent up while they still have nutritional value to you. This kind of inner offering to the gods is, I've never found it. I don't think that this explanation exists. If anybody desires help in this, feel free to comment in the comment section below. And most especially where I respond the most is on Facebook Messenger at www.facebook.com/hunter.salazar. HUNTER.SALAZAR. Message me there. You can talk about this. You can talk about other spiritual matters. As long as you're polite, I will most likely respond to you. At any rate, when you offer to the gods, we always think of, this or this or this. These are all external explanations of the force that we're trying to conjure within. So driving that energy up your spine while you're eating, focusing on your third eye, either cycling through the images of your god or goddess that you're thinking of, or focusing on the one image, and perhaps you're turning your eyes more upward while you're eating, at least a part of your meal. These are things that can be true communion, the original definition and realization of communion was within. It wasn't without. Something only becomes holy when it's within. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was interesting. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them down in the comment section below or contact me on Facebook, like I said. And all of you, look within yourself before you look to gods or goddesses. And then, once you've looked into yourself, to these gods and or goddesses, then have your communion. All of you, have a wonderful day.